to see where we're at from getting leverage. Because again, one of the biggest frustrations when we go from 0 to 1, meaning 0 being us ourselves, and adding an individual to the equation is delegating. What should they be doing? How do I train? How do I monitor? How do I track? How do I do all this fun stuff? So that's one of the biggest pain points, is not knowing what to delegate and also how to communicate and train. So this is an element that we're going to be doing today as well, just to kind of get the most out of our session today. Today we're really going for it, and I'm just going to open the entire playbook that allows us to stand up businesses pretty much overnight. So these have no, yes, yes, yes. So quite a few. We have quite a few folks with some leverage. All right. So today we're going to do the Do It framework, the art of getting things done. So today's session is about productivity. This marks the end of our mindset and productivity month, which was the month of March. For the month of April, we've already lined up our guest presenters that are they're going to be presenting on video creation. So we have all 5 presenters are going to be extremely knowledgeable in the topic, and you're going to want to stick around for April. All right, so are you able to see the screen right now? All right, so I see some heads nodding. Okay, so this is, again, this is designed to be more of a workshop. This, hopefully here within the next 30 minutes that I have you, you have a clear vision on what you should be doing here today. It's really that simple. This is designed to be as action-based as possible. So take this opportunity to list out what needs to happen, right? So think of this as a planning session, think of this as a productivity session, think of this as however you want to think about it, but this allows you to get clarity on what should be done today. And we're not going to get so much into the theories, we're not going to get so much into the goals, we're not going to vision cast or think where we're going to be, our where our business is going to be in 5 years. I want to make a let's make the goal for today's session is to know what we're going to do with the next 24 hours. Is that fair? Let's get the most out of our session. I'm going to show you again the framework. This is, you can plan out the next 24 hours. You can plan out the next 48 hours. You can plan out the next year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it looks like for you. The framework is the same, but for our purposes today, I'm going to show you how it works. So you never miss the deadline. So you know what needs to happen next. So you can continue moving your projects forward and not let them stall and or die, which I am very much responsible. Some actually of my team members are here, and they can very much attest to a lot of the projects that have gone by the wayside simply because I did not manage it correctly. But this is something that is going to help us all. All right, so Do It framework, which essentially stands for dump, not what you think, dump, organize, identify, and tackle. So dump, organize, identify, and tackle. So what this means is, well, the first part of our exercise today is we're going to empty our brain. We're going to dump everything from our brain onto a piece of paper, or if you have Notion, this is actually what we're going to use. I'm going to show you the database that I use, which is very simple, nothing difficult. If you are Excel people, stay on Excel. I'm not asking you to get on Notion. I'm just asking you to write something down. If you're a piece of paper like I am as well, write everything down. So again, the goal not right now is to dump everything you possibly can onto a piece of paper, onto your Excel sheet, onto Notion. And I'm going to show you some examples of that here shortly. That's what we're going to do first. Then the second thing we're going to do is we're going to organize them. So we're going to do pairings. Now, the reason that I actually use this little framework here, this little database that you're going to see us work through, is this allows our organizing to be done instantly. And you're going to see what I actually prioritize versus I don't all that much. So in the organization phase, again, if you join this electronically, it's going to be a lot easier. I'll just be honest. But if you're the piece of paper, I'm not trying to create any resistance. If it's piece of paper, use piece of paper. It doesn't matter to me, but just know that electronically, if you can sort like on Excel, if you can sort like on Notion, or any other project management tool that you have out there, Asana, whatever other, a Make, any other project management systems out there are going to do that for you. So we're going to organize and then identify. So identify is going to be a little hub that I create so I know what I need to be doing per day, which you'll see that here shortly, along with tackling the tasks that I need to be doing for the day. So you're going to see a hub that you can create very instantly, very quickly. So you know on this day, March 25th, I need to be working on this part of my business. I need to be reviewing this part over here. I need to be writing to X, Y, and Z. And you're cleaning out all of your to-do lists. So this is gonna replace all of your sticky notes if you decide to replace them. All right, so first things first, we need to dump as many tasks as possible. Now, this is going to work a little bit better if we can all collaborate so you kind of see this work in action. So right now, let's see, Stephanie, what's one thing that you would like to accomplish today? And don't make it too personal, don't make it too specific if you don't like, if you don't feel comfortable, but what's something that we want to accomplish today?
Call the title and escrow company.
Call title and escrow. Okay. Now, is that a personal or is that a business thing?
That's business, a transaction.
When is that due for you?
Today.
Today. Awesome. Now, we can go into time. We're not going to do that. We're not going to complicate it. We're not going to create friction. Now, is that a revenue generating activity for you?
Yes.
Fair. And this is, again, there's some of us have different interpretations of what revenue generating activities are for you. And I would argue that in this particular case, it would be because there's probably something super material that you need to, I think is in relation to your closing, something that's important that you need to convey to your clients so they can make the decision, do we move forward or do we not? So that's something similar?
Yeah.
Fair. So that is a revenue generating activity. Now, it's not complete yet and it's not abandoned. So here what we're trying to do is we're trying to create an entire database. So when we look back on the month, we can pull out our receipts and see, did I complete my task or did I abandon them? Did I just not do them? And we're going to continue building. I did see some questions in the chat. Is there a template for Notion space? Renee, what we'll do is if there's enough folks interested in this, just be honest again, since this is I'm creating this from scratch and showing you everything in real time. I did just enough to make this look organized, but I did not do enough to create a full out hub. If the folks on here on our Zoom call are interested in, as gratitude and thanks for you being here, if you find enough interest in here, I'll redesign the entire personal hub that I have, which that one's personal. I can't really share that one, but I can create the entire template so you can just copy and paste it. If there's enough interest in that, I can absolutely share that with you. But right now, we're creating everything from scratch so you can replicate it in your Excel, in your Asana, in your Google Doc, or in your paper. But we'll keep it going. Let's see. Sarah, the YouTube All-Star. Sarah, what's one thing we need to accomplish today?
Today, I need to have a demo with batch leads so that I can learn that system and start calling expired listings.
Okay. Now that's a business thing, and that is today, right?
Yes.
Okay. And is that revenue generating?
Yes.
Awesome. Let's get at least 5 more things in here. Laura, what's one thing we need to do today?
I need to actually get more showings for my listing.
Okay, Jerome up showings for listing. Okay. That's a personal one. When's that due? Is that today?
Yeah, I'd like to do it today.
Fair. Now is that revenue generating?
Yes.
I know these seem obvious, right? And as you go through, like I'm talking about dumping everything on here. So for me, it looks some are long-term projects. I'll show you how to manage projects that are long-term. So it's not going to be as easy to just kind of do one sentence. And also it could be just cancel my cable subscription. I haven't had cable in like in 30 years. I don't know, but just give you some examples. Franco, what's something that we need to accomplish today? Do something maybe personal, not too personal.
Personal. I gotta send out my claim for the insurance for when I was traveling. I haven't done it for 3 months.
There we go. This is precisely why we're doing this. This is precisely why we're doing this. Something that we, for me, your travel insurance was my property insurance. I was overpaying on 2 of my properties. I was double paying on 2 of my properties, and I just got my reimbursement check. Beside the point. Personal, here we go. And we'd like to do that today, correct?
Yeah, today has to get done.
Awesome. Awesome. So we're gonna do the yeah, we're gonna do that today. And then revenue generating. In this particular case, we're gonna say yes, but not for our business per se.
Yeah.
So that's perfect. That's perfect. Okay, Miss Bridget, what's something we need to do today? It can be anything
Cancel-
on the map.
Cancel some unnecessary subscriptions.
Ooh, those are so good. So good. I don't know how to spell necessary, but that's gonna be close. Okay, now is this personal or is this business?
My checking account says it's personal. My business says it's business, so yeah, I guess it would be business or yeah.
Business. Mhm. We're gonna do both. How about that? We're gonna do
Oh,
both. Now, if
okay.
you really wanted to take it to an extreme, you could create one for personal and create one for business. But for our purposes today, we're just gonna stick with both. And then is that gonna be due today, or do you want to do that tomorrow, or
Oh,
when do you
it's
think it
today.
should be done?
Today.
Okay, so we have a lot of todays. Now, is that revenue generating? Yes or no?
No, not really. No.
You're I agree with you on that one. I agree. It's important, but it's not generating revenue for your business. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so that's enough to work off of for now. That's enough to work off of for now. So what we're gonna do now is and you're just gonna continue going and doing the here we go. You're gonna continue building out the list. Now, the reason that you see everything here again is because this is without getting too much into Notion, this is a linked database. So identify is basically, you don't want to go through your list once again, because you could have 100 of these tasks that need to be done. And most likely you will, as you continue to throughout the day, you remember something that needs to get done, you're going to immediately add it to the list. So as an example, a script, if I remember, hey, I got a really good question from one of my leads, and they asked about homestead exemption. So I want to create a homestead exemption video, but first I know that I need to create the script. Or you know what, let's go with the end in mind. I'll show you how to do a project off of that. Create homestead exemption YouTube video. So I can answer that question. And for me, I know that that's not a today thing because that just dawned on me, but it would be nice if I could get it done by the 1st. If I could get that done by the 1st, it would be a fantastic thing for me to do. And then for me, that would be a business one. Is it revenue generating? No, not really. I could argue that it would eventually allow people to come and reach out to me, but a homestead video, in all reality, people are watching that video after they've already closed on the home. So it's not going to be directly a revenue generating activity for me. And we're going to continue building these lists. So Odessa, just give me one more, please. But this time, what's something you wish that here within the week? What's something that doesn't need to be done today, but sometime in the future, for like a week from now?
I need to mail 50 I have a buyer letters.
Oh, I like that. I really like that. I'm actually gonna do that for me too. Okay. Now, when would you like for that to be done?
By Friday.
Friday. Awesome. Now, that is a business thing. Now, is that revenue generating?
I would argue yes. because if somebody answers the letters, then I will potentially get a transaction. So it's maybe lead gen. So do you call that revenue or not? How many steps away do we have to be?
I believe that is working towards an actual client.
Okay.
All right. So here's what's happening now. Now, when we do identify, for me, basically I need all these databases, which is what we're creating, all these databases to work for me. You and I and nobody has time to come back here to these databases and figure out what needs to happen. So again, right now the exercise for you is write down everything you need to be doing. Right now, it's just kind of going through a list for ourselves. It's designed to be a workshop. So write down what you need to do, whether it's call somebody back, whether it's start that Facebook ad campaign you've been meaning to start, create that video that you meant to create, calling your mom because you've been meaning to call her, whatever it happens to be, put everything on your list here. Now, the magic is, yes, you're starting with the brain dump. That's really what triggers everything over. But the organization is going to happen here in, so let's go into the O. Now, for you as an entrepreneur, one of the things that is going to help you start seeing is, for me, well, I won't even project. I'll tell you exactly what happened when I started using this system. I started seeing a lot of business items here, and I mean a lot. I mean, maybe there was 2 personal for every 100 things that I needed to do. But the shocking thing for me was how many of these things that were I was doing for my business were not revenue generating. That was astounding to me. And some of you are going to be way better at it than I was. Some of you might be having the same challenges as me, where you're finding yourself busy for 12 hours a day. You look back and say, well, I did get a lot of things done, but I don't feel like I moved the needle in my business. I don't feel like I actually generated income. I feel like I'm actually in a worse spot. So feel like I did a lot of things, but I just didn't get a lot of things actually accomplished. So that alone, having that awareness is going to be extremely important for you as you, again, build this out. You're looking at having over 100 of these. And as you get going, you're going to be able to, knock a lot of those things out in chunks. But when we get to the organized phase of the do it framework, we're going to prioritize what's actually making us money. Now, for some of us, it's going to make sense and it's going to be obvious. For some of us, it's not going to make sense and it's not going to be obvious. That was me. For me, it was, I needed to do so many different other things before I felt ready to do, let's just say, mail out that I have a buyer letter or something like that. But anyway, when we're getting to the organizing phase, I would ask that you take care of the revenue generating activities first, or at least organize them and start rethinking your due dates. So I know that I gave you just one example of, hey, just tell me what you're doing today. Tell me what you're doing today. And I actually said, tell me what you're doing today. But as you're going through you're writing down everything you need to do here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, you're going to see a lot of due dates that are going to vary across the board, and it's easy to get lost. But either way, what I do ask that you prioritize that in terms of getting things done is focusing on the yes, this is revenue generating first. And then I'm going to say that I'm going to take your tasks and I'm going to pretend that they're all my things to do. Does that make sense? That way we have a little framework, and that way you see what, in theory, I'm supposed to be doing. So let's say I got to call title and escrow. Well, I have to do that today or the transaction just doesn't close. So that one does make sense for me to do. Demo with batch leads. Now, if I already have it scheduled, then I'm probably going to stick to it. Or if I'm thinking about scheduling a demo for batch leads, then I will schedule it out for tomorrow, as an example. Drum up showings for listings, for the listing. That could be today, that could be tomorrow. I mean, there's some urgency on it, so that is revenue generating. So we can do 20. That we'll say that today. And let's just say send the claim for the insurance. That is super important. It's something that I've been delaying on, but for me, I would much rather, and I'm not just, I mean, obviously take care of business, whoever suggested that, of course, I think it was Franco, but just, I'm pretending here. I'm playing the land of make believe. So I'm going to do that on Saturday when I'm typically winding down a little bit more. So I think today just doesn't make sense for me to do that and send out, I have a buyer letter. That's something that I do want to start prepping for and get done on Friday, and cancel unnecessary subscriptions. Let's just say I've just delayed that like crazy. And I was supposed to do that on Sunday when it was my wind down day. So you're going to see all these due dates that are changing. And what I do in that particular case, I do the ascending, I do the due date once again, and then I go through that exercise one more time. So I prioritize based off of revenue generating, and then I will do the due date, remake the due date once again. And I go through this until I'm a little bit, I'm pretty satisfied with it, and I get to work. So essentially, what happens now is this task list is one of many. You're gonna have a task list of your CRM. Your CRM is a task list just by the nature of it being a customer relationship management tool. So there, you already have a lot of follow-up dates that you're responsible for. So I'll quickly show you our CRM, so our internal CRM here at the DFW Homeowner Group. So this is ours, and as you can see, we have a lot of leads that we have to get through, and many of them are in various stages. Some of them are long-term follow-up, some of them have already closed, some of them we lost the deal on, some of them we never connected because they ghosted us after they opted in. Some of them are closed, as mentioned. Some of them are actively under contract. And as you can see, we have hundreds and hundreds, over 1,000 leads that we are actively managing, believe it or not. We're actively managing all of these, right? And the big thing that allows us to do that is in this follow-up date. Now, this particular one, since we lost it, I guess that one we're not going to follow up with. But the big thing that allows us to have a very easy feedback loop is this little date right here, which I'm going to show you how to do that over on our Do It framework. But I just want to show you exactly, like, this is another database that if Robinson's a team member here internally, Carmel is a team member here internally, they're not going through this entire 1,000 people and see who we can reach out to. This is that one piece of information that we actively use so we can come back to that particular lead at a certain date, in this particular case today. So what they log into, so they being our team and myself as well, what they log into is this identifying, or just hub, let's just call it identifying hub for sake of clarity, where this only shows me people that I need to, let me rephrase that, task. I'm going back and forth, so let me just finish the thought here and then go back to the CRM. This only tells me things that I need to do today or I already missed the boat on. So in this particular case, you see our master task list. This is probably, oops. Our master task list, we link it up here again. But with this filter that we have in place, a very simple filter that we have in place, we're only looking for tasks that are due today or have already transpired, have already happened, meaning I should have already canceled unnecessary subscriptions in this particular make-believe task list. So I have a choice. Like if this shows up on my to-do list, so which would show up on your to-do list today, you have the option of either getting it done today or putting it off to a further date, which if you do that plenty of times, then I would ask that you just abandon it, because it's not important enough for you to actually do. If you continue to push it off, you're better off abandoning it, or obviously completing it, than continuing to push it down the road. So at some point, your task needs to get done, or it just needs to be abandoned because it wasn't important enough for you to do. But anyway, so for today, I have to call the title and escrow company. Now, if that were to change, as an example, if the situation changed and I don't have to call them today, all I have to do is move it to either tomorrow. Let's just say I should do a follow-up with them tomorrow. I move it to the next day, and it goes away from my today list. Does that make sense? My task list is still the same, but in this particular situation, for whatever reason, I needed to do it tomorrow, so we're done. So here, let's just say drum up showings for listings, same thing. Once you're done, you would just press complete and it goes away. I don't have the rule on this one yet, so I can add it. So I can go to complete. Let's just say I did drum up the showings for the listings that I was supposed to do. So I'll just go to complete and unchecked. So now all I have to do for today is cancel unnecessary subscriptions. Now, what I do in this particular case, what I do in my hub is I have a ton of these databases linked up that demand my immediate attention. So as some of you might know, I have different businesses that I work in. So part of my business is buyers and sellers. I have a database for that. That's the one that you just saw. So any folks that are on our follow-up list are going to show up for today that need attention today. Same thing with the so my real estate team, I have a database for them. Any folks that I need to reach out to for on a particular day, if it's the day that I need to follow up with them, it'll show on my to-do list. Same thing for my task list. Is this making sense? Now, let me stop sharing and show you if I can. If it doesn't have too much sensitive information, I don't mind sharing. Okay, so let me share with you this database. Right here. So this database is for our phone support team. And you get to see the CRM in action here. So these are all the folks that need an outreach today. So this is all based off of the follow-up date. You see everybody's follow-up date is today. Now, they're all in different statuses. Some are actively searching. Some of them, we just made an outreach, but we're not able to contact them. Some of them are in our 30-day follow-up sequence. Some of them are currently under contract right now that they need our immediate attention today. And when we click on one of these, I'm not going to go into that part, but when we click on one of these and go into the comment section, we see obviously what needs to happen. Now, you'll also see that their creation time, meaning when this page was created, is all over the board. So November 25th as an example. So this November 25th client that is now under contract, well, the reason that these I just kind of use for my running notes, and then I put all my notes on my database is because I'm not going to go back to my November 25th page and find out what happened with, in this particular case, Rakina, because that's not possible. Let me rephrase that. That's not reasonable. It is possible. You could have stacks and stacks of notebooks, which I do happen to have, but that is not the most effective way to do that. So in this particular case, you see that over 1,000 folks were created at some point here in our system, and they're created at different points in time. They have a different status, and they're all being followed up today, regardless if we promise to follow up with them in 30 days, in 60 days, and 120 days. This is just one of our systems that we use. I use the same thing for creator agents, our YouTube program for agents. I use the same thing for the Agent First group, which is a group that I started with for real estate agents, and on and on and on. So I live based off of these databases that all come to me in terms of the tasks come to me. So I don't have to go and chase and try to figure out what I need to be doing today. Odessa.
Yes. Ah, Too many buttons. Hey, Jaime. So, question for you. I've been working in Notion, and as I created a task list, and it initially started as my dump, right? And then I brought on a VA, and we created a content creation workflow, and I created tasks for her. And then I have another database that I had created when I was working on agent attraction. And what happened to me is, because it was in 3 different places, when I run out of time, I tend to neglect one. And then everything gets very out of date. So where do you, so the nice thing is with the way, if you're using any relational database, right, that you can put everything in one place and then just filter it for what you want to see, but it makes it so you don't lose sight of other things. But where do you find the delineation of, like, obviously you had leads, right? That's one thing. Then you have your YouTube, you have a content creation team. Then you have, I'm sure you have a task list for running these sessions. And then you have like, how do you delineate when you create a new database versus trying to just add fields and filter in one database 6 different ways?
So essentially it's managing different, is it managing different? I'm trying to understand the question. I'm
Well,
so
so
sorry.
if you create one database for, let's say, real estate leads, you create another
Yep,
database
yep,
for realtor leads, you create another database for tasks.
Yep.
You end up having so many that it's
Yep.
hard to remember to go into each single one of them. So at what point do you say, you know what, this group of activities warrants a separate database, versus if I add these 3 fields, I can use the same database? Like, how, because that's where I
I
struggled,
like,
because I got in and I was really excited and I created all this Notion. I did this big hub, and then I also do use paper every day, because when you're on the
yeah,
computer, it's hard to focus. So my idea is, like, if I can create a database, it's going to queue up my tasks for the day. I can write them down, and then I can focus on my paper for the day. It'll help me with distractions. But the problem is I have too many databases. So I'm trying to figure
mhm,
out which ones I should combine into kind of a master, right?
yeah. What I would do is, if it's different parts of businesses, I would separate them out. If you don't mind other folks having access to the information that you're putting on there, I would, um, let me phrase that. If you mind, then I would separate them out, of someone else having access to your information. So for me, I'll actually show you my dashboard, or one of my past dashboards here, just to, I did a little bit of moving around just so you kind of see what it looks like. But I have different dashboards here internally, and I'm double checking, triple checking real quick to make sure that I don't have anything that I need to be weary of. But anyway, so as far as task lists go, I'll show you my personal hub. So I have an agent hub. So this is more for the agents that I work with. I have creator agents hub that I need to focus on. And I have the DFW homeowner, so buyers and sellers hub. And then I have a prospecting hub that some of our internal team members manage with me. So at every point in time, and I'll be honest, I'm not always the best at this. So right now you're catching me on a travel day. So I'm more do as I say, not as I do, for the past couple of days. So I'm a little bit off here. But with that being said, when I am firing on all cylinders, when I get back into the office tomorrow, all of these, with the exception of running ideas, that's just something I like having out there. With the exception of that, all of these are going to go to 0 by the end of the day, daily. So they're all different. They're all different databases. They're all different. Um, uh, yeah, they're all different databases. Some of our internal team members have access to them. Actually, some of them on here that you see here, and some of them do not. It just depends on what part of the business they're in that they're working on. So to avoid confusion. So some of our internal team members only focus on the buyer and seller side. Some of our team members only focus on the YouTube side of our business. But for me, I focus on all of them. or by definition, you can't focus on all of them because that's not focus. I pay attention to all of them.
Manage them all. Yeah. Okay. So you have for each business, even though like, because even like you're contacting realtors, let's say for two different databases, one is potentially recruiting and the other one is creator agents and another one is something else, whatever. You have them in different databases because you have a different end in mind for those
Correct.
tasks or resources. They fall into a totally different group.
Correct.
Okay. That's helpful.
Correct. So one of the things I'll just go into this real quickly because we do need to wrap up here. Like Mel, I have buyer letters, right? So it's actually yours, right? This is yours, Odessa. This
Yep.
is not something that you'll probably be able to execute in one single day. And this is going to be not mostly, this could be, I don't want to put words in, this could be a project, an ongoing project that we don't want to continue punting down the road, but we do want to make sure that we're working well with our internal team members, with our vendors, with whatever. So I have a buyer letter that can be a project as well. So what I do in this particular case, I would have a project board, which is what this is. Actually, one of our Franco is actually familiar with this process as he's actively in one of our projects that we have going on with him and his business. So this should look very similar to his because he's actually in one of our projects. So in this particular case, for you, Odessa, let's just say, I don't know why I just like doing this. Let's just say it's still in the planning phase. This is a project that you're going to link back up to your, I have a buyer letter right here. So I just put a comment there so I can click here and it's going to take me right here. But anyway, you're going to be the owner. So in this particular case, you actually happen to be in one of our Notion databases. So that's why I have you here. And let's just say I was going to help you in that. And this is other people that are obviously in your internal database. Let's just say somebody else was going to help you at that. And you're giving yourself until Friday to complete. Now, priority for you, let's just say it's high. Now, brief description. This allows you to be clear, not just with yourself, but as you have more and more team members, this can allow you to communicate with the rest of the folks in one sentence what you're looking to do with this project, right? Get listings from sending out. I have a buyer letter. I'm just making a few things up just for the sake of time, but this is a project in and of itself. Now, what happens next is really the key of making your projects move forward. Listing out who is going to start this, if it's going to be somebody else, like what's the first domino to fall? What happens next? What happens next? What happens next? And you just keep going until you're out of things to do until ultimately it's done. So in this particular case, let's just say the first action item would be, let's say,
So first you
what would it
draft
be?
the letter, then you pull the data, then you do your mail merge, right?
So
just what you-
Odessa to draft, and so see, you're not on here, but that makes sense. So to draft letter, and then you said pull data,
Mhm.
pull address data, and then
You're gonna do your mail merge,
mail merge, and then
print, sign and send.
and you're going to continue doing this particular you're going to remember to come back to your point, like having different databases and maybe forgetting some things, or you're going to continue coming back to this project time and time again because it's already in your daily. So over here, I know we already cleared it, but it's going to be in your daily that you should be advancing that project forward. Now for us, just I'll stop sharing for a quick second because I want to show you what it looks like for us in practice. And so you see that it's not just I'm speaking out of theory. This is something that we're actively doing right now. So for us, right now, this is our project board. These are the planning phases, the projects that are in progress, the ones that are done right now, and the ones that are paused. So here you see all the projects that we've had, all the team members that have been responsible for it, the priority for us, the dates that they're supposed to be accomplished, a brief description of what they're supposed to be have done. But look at this, like there's 37 out of 45 projects right now. This is in this particular project board, it has 45 things, but now I have receipts, things that I'm doing or not doing, things that advanced that haven't advanced, things that I've tried that I haven't tried. So it allows you to see movement in your business, or let's be honest, lack of movement in your business. It's very evident. And we're not speaking from theory any longer, or feelings of, oh, I wish I could do more, or I just haven't done anything. Well, you can go back to your receipts and see, what did I accomplish this year? What did I not accomplish? What did I abandon? Does that make sense? This could be an entire class itself, like an entire this is, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but this is 20% of what we do here internally to manage everything that we have going on. Some of y'all are participating in the video workflow that we have. So we manage some of your YouTube channels. So a lot of folks don't realize this, but we're nearing 100 channels under management right now. So for that to happen effectively and at a rapid pace, like a lot of you are actually personal witnesses to, takes a lot of coordination on the back end. So we have a lot of projects going on. Our team is, I think we're at 22, could be 23, but our team is small but mighty. So that happens through the organization that we have going on. So we're again, not trying to pat myself on the back, but we're pretty efficient at what we do. Questions, comments, concerns on that? Was that helpful? Was that just too much, too little? What are some thoughts?
I think it's great and can be effective. So, and I like that you can open the same Notion, I think, is that right, on your phone as well as your laptop. So that way you could update it with different projects when you think about it. Cause I don't always have my laptop when I'm thinking about something I need to do.
100%. 100%. So this is right now, as we were speaking, like 30 different notifications came up. But it allows me to kind of go straight into what needs to be happening and what doesn't need to be happening. So it's effective for us. Would love to collaborate with anyone in the future. If you have something that I'm missing, that'd be cool. I'm always up for more productivity. That's actually one of the biggest reasons that I know I started with this at the beginning. Justin not being able to attend today, but he's actually one of the folks that taught me a big part of this system on the brain dumping and putting everything into place, categorizing it. Now he is still a bit more manual than me and really does everything that he puts here, he puts into calendar. So I respect him for that. For me, I tried that for a few weeks. It just didn't work out for what we were doing. But for me, very similar here. I put it onto the task management and then it just distributes to whoever needs to take action whenever they need to take action, along with myself. All right, crew. Well, I appreciate you. If there is enough interest, just let me know in the chat to send you the a template. I don't mind cleaning up a few things and kind of creating the framework. This again was put together, and I shouldn't break the fourth wall, but like in 12 seconds. So I was trying to create something that was useful, high utility. I wasn't too focused on the aesthetics. I wanted to just show you the system and open to you my business. So you see it working on something that is managing thousands and thousands of people all at once. Because what you just saw there was the client side, the buyer seller side from less than 6 months with work. From the agent side, we have over 10,000 folks that we follow up with. So it's a little bit different. Alrighty, crew. Well, quick reminder, agentfirstsummit.com. That's where you're going to get the notes. That's where you're going to get the reminders of what we have going on. Also, next month, we have video marketing. So we have folks that are absolute monsters in the video creation space. So if there's anything that you need, please feel free to reach out to us. But outside of that, see you next week for our first 1 out of 5 video marketing series for the Agent First Summit. Thank y'all.